What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, I've been going ahead and scrolling through Twitter, and I saw a post from one of my homies, Country, and he went ahead and said something that, honestly, I have to completely agree with. Now, I do want to make it clear that I enjoy the map designs in this game. It might be a hot topic. I know not a lot of people enjoy the maps in this game, but it definitely gives me a little bit more of an OG Infinity Ward vibe. A lot of different jump spots, tons of creativity, different places to explore. Maybe not the best for competitive play, but when it comes to just casually, running around and just playing the game itself, it's pretty solid coming out of Infinity Ward. But I do agree with what Country says here, because this is definitely something that helped the franchise stand out back in the day, compared to, how they're kind of trying to stand out current date, but it's still lacking a little something something. As you can see right here, I'm not the only one who thinks COD is just lost on creativity. Many maps just copy-paste of IRL stuff. 2 maps in Season 1 we already seen. Walmart version of Rocket League and Escape from Tarkov, so on and so forth. I agree with you. Again, I'll say, I do enjoy the map designs, the layouts themselves. I enjoy DMZ to a certain extent. I think it's actually extremely fun and a great casual game to, party up with a bunch of your buddies, especially if it's a late night activity. And, the Rocket League, man, I can't really defend it that much. It really is the Walmart brand Rocket League. It's insane. But at the end of the day, I have to say, I do agree with what Country has to say here. Because despite all of the things that I do enjoy about the maps, at the end of the day, it's definitely showing that the Call of Duty franchise is starting to become a bit repetitive, even for the developers. Let's be real, it's been coming out every single year for how long now, right? At a certain point, they're not even going to know what to put into these titles. That's why I think they're going to be making the move where these games are going to be out for a full 2 years to allow a little time in between to spice things up and things don't become repetitive like we see right now, current date. But back to the overall topic. Back in the day, we used to have way more creative things. We would have locations, but they're not completely based off of real life. It's out of their imagination. They could do what they want. They can, create what they want, whatever they please, without having to try to copy these locations by every last bit. And I love that style because I respect the creativity that comes along with game design. I know it's not easy. I know it takes a lot of thinking, a lot of work, and a lot of trial and error until you find out the right formula. But I love when they explored with map designs because it tapped into my imagination as well. Like, what if that turned into a war zone? Or what if that turned into, a battleground? For example, Danny on PC actually posted a little further on to this tweet by Country, also saying, I miss the original and cool locations from COD. Now everything has to be realistic and boring copies from IRL locations. Fun, colorful locations versus drab and brown. Now, I'll be honest, when it comes to colorful locations, that's typically always Treyarch. Infinity Ward has always been a lot more, toned down when it comes to the colors that they choose with their maps and locations, even though some of them have been a little bit more vibrant here and there. But I do completely agree with the overall take. I mean, things like a drive-in, a movie drive-in. Who would have ever imagined actually being on a battleground in a movie drive-in? But here we are. We tried it out in Black Ops 1. We got it back in Cold War, multiple different times. But that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about creativity. A zoo, a legitimate, closed-down zoo, a vacant zoo that has been turned into a battleground. Like I said, creativity. Even the maps like the Sandbox map from World War II. I love that map. It was one of my favorites in the whole overall game. Or even the picnic table map. I think it was a DLC map that came into Black Ops 3. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was like a picnic table with, you're obviously undersized and it's oversized food and all this other crazy stuff. These are such cool and unique concepts. Shoot, I mean, I didn't even care for Vanguard, but even Vanguard had points where it stepped out of boundaries and tried different unique things. But right now, across the board, even in Vanguard still, they might have had a few good maps that came out later in DLC. But a lot of maps seem to be, like everybody's saying, just copy and pastes from real-life locations. A lot of the maps in Modern Warfare 2 are exact locations that you would see if you went out and saw that in real life. And it's nothing wrong with that. Maybe having a map or two like that in the game is unique. It's interesting because once again, it makes you think. It's like, oh, what if, that place that's literally right around the corner from me was a battleground. That's insane. People who actually go to that hotel, or people who, actually, I think it's a school, not a museum, but I believe it's a school that has a bunch of artwork and all that stuff. If they actually go there and they play the game and they see that, it might be actually pretty crazy. It'll be cool to actually see that, play that in a video game. But I feel like it's overdone. And once again, it lacks the creativity. Probably the most creative map right now on Modern Warfare 2 would probably have to be Hydro, just because of the water features. If it wasn't for the water features and all the parkour areas and, the climbable spots and stuff, the maps would be, like I said, they're not bad. I enjoy the flow and, the lanes and stuff like that and the vibes that they have to offer, but pretty plain. A lot of them are remasters from older COD games, like, for example, Tarak is stripped straight out of Call of Duty 1 or Call of Duty 2. A lot of the maps are more simplified versions of the maps from Warzone 2.0, which, like Embassy right here that you see, the border map, all those are just, toned down from the Warzone map and also from Ground War maps. And then, of course, they have remasters. All the content that we got within Season 1 was nothing unique, nothing interesting, nothing creative from the developers. It's all been pretty much maps that we already saw, Shipment and Shoot House. Like I said, this game is lacking a ton of creativity. And I like what they have to offer, but they have to hone in on where they're going to focus their creativity. And I just really wish they do it with the 6v6 side of things, because it desperately needs it, And even putting the maps aside again, like Country said earlier, they're even copying game modes like from Rocket League and Escape from Tarkov. Again, I have nothing wrong with, because I like extraction modes, and I'm happy that DMZ is in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I have to be real, because I always wanted a more casual style extraction, and COD actually did it really good. With a lot more work, they can actually perfect that off to be a true banger. But let's be real here. Everything in COD nowadays isn't something creative, unique, or out of the box in a good way when it comes to COD. If it's out of the box, it's because they're bringing in another franchise into Call of Duty. They're bringing Battlefield into COD. They're bringing Tarkov into COD. They're bringing Rocket League into COD. That's why it's out of the box. It's not because it's an actual well thought out idea that took time, a lot of effort to come up with to basically start a new trend or just start something fresh within the Call of Duty universe. It's a little bit disappointing, and it's sad to see these developers taking this direction, because even though they have 2 years in between these cycles now for games, I still guarantee a lot of these modes are going to stick. DMZ is probably going to go into the future as well. Again, like I probably shouldn't be complaining about that, because I really hope they keep DMZ and keep evolving it along with Treyarch. Just make basically what they had in Cold War. What was that game mode again? Because I don't play that much zombies, but it was the open world, zombies experience. It wasn't really open world, but you get what I'm saying. Basically take that and bring in some of the DMZ elements, the challenges, the extraction factor, all that stuff. And just, Treyarch will have zombies version of DMZ, and Infinity Ward will have, the AI version of DMZ. That's great and all, but it just makes me think that this is basically Call of Duty's future. Every single time a new COD game comes out, instead of them prioritizing something fresh, they always prioritize trying to put all the effort in to taking a formula that's already established and making it good. And it works, does it not? Warzone literally took over 6v6. DMZ is taking over Warzone 2.0 right now. But like I said, in order for that to happen, it's proof that they're putting all of their time into these game modes to make sure that they're capable of doing that. And I guarantee if they put that same effort into actually trying to make a new mode, I think Call of Duty would be in a lot better of a place. Maybe not a lot better, because Warzone did, skyrocket the Call of Duty franchise to a whole different level. So I don't know if we would ever meet that level without Warzone. But I definitely think that, Call of Duty would still be able to stand on its two own feet in 6v6 if they put the same amount of focus that they do for those game modes into, the core COD experience. But ladies and gentlemen, do me a massive favor, go down in the comment section and leave your opinions on how you feel about the overall topic here and what Country had to say. Again, I have to agree with him. I do enjoy the game. I enjoy what I play here. Each person has their own opinion, and even though I will say this game isn't, better than the OG CODs, but compared to Modern Warfare 2019, Ghost, Infinite Warfare, all that stuff, it's really good. I gotta say, it's much better than what we've been given before by Infinity Ward. But it seems, instead of them focusing on using that creativity on new things to innovate on the franchise, they use that creativity to basically rip off other franchises and find out how to use their own modes to benefit the Call of Duty franchise even further. But ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like. Bumps, I hate it, leave a dislike. Also, if you're brand new, enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe and tap the notification button. Also, want to check me, there's 2 ways to do so. I have a Twitter and Discord, both linked down in the description. And also, want to catch me live streams of video games, do it on Twitch. Link to that is in the description as well. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. See you all next one. Peace out.